Let me guess, you want to build wealth to escape the life you have, but after all your expenses, there's just not enough money left to invest and make meaningful progress? Give me 7 minutes, and I will prove to you that you can make $5,000 to $10,000 in a weekend simply by being in the right room at the right time, because you're right. On that income, building wealth by saving is absolutely hopeless. I want to tell you about a guy I know. Decent job, decent salary. Life should be good, but it's not. Same desk, same stress, just an endless loop of work and more work while he watches other people live life and have fun. He wanted to lock in and escape the 9 to 5, build up a stock portfolio, build financial freedom. But after a year, he realized he can barely put $300 a month into savings and that he's going to be stuck forever. Then one week, he met the right people and made $8,000 on a single Saturday. 10 small business owners in a room. He taught them how to use ChatGPT, simple value-based consulting. But this is not a story about AI. This is not a story about coaching services. I don't care who you are or what your skill set is. If you want to stop being broke, ignore your paycheck, and ignore budgeting, you have to use completely different principles to build wealth fast, and I'm going to show you how. I watched this happen. This guy, Marco, had been doing the same thing most people do when they decide they want more. Side gigs, freelance work, a few hundred here and there. He tried drop shipping for 3 months, lost about $400 and a lot of sleep. He tried flipping stuff on eBay, made maybe $600 total across 6 weeks of effort. Nothing moved the needle in any meaningful way. And then he did something different. He stopped trying to build a product and started paying attention to people who already had money, specifically small business owners in his city. He noticed something. Most of them were drowning, not in debt necessarily, just in tasks, decisions, and problems they didn't have time to solve, and almost none of them had any idea how to use AI tools that could save them hours every week. So he put together a simple consulting offer, not a course, not a subscription, just this. For $3,000, he would spend a day with them, walk through everything they were doing in their business, take detailed notes, and hand them a custom plan for exactly how AI could improve their workflows, written in plain language, specific to their business, ready to implement. No jargon, no tech. Just, here are your problems. Here are the solutions. Here's how you do it. He found a local BNI chapter. That's Business Network International. Basically a weekly breakfast meeting of local business owners, paid the entry fee, walked in, had conversations. Within 2 weeks, he had his first 3 clients. Then referrals started. By the end of that month, 10 clients. $30,000. The entire AI research for each client? He did it himself using ChatGPT. The plans took him 3 to 4 hours each to produce. The business owners didn't know that. They didn't care. They weren't paying for his time. They were paying for the outcome. A specific, actionable solution to a problem that was costing them far more than $3,000 to leave unsolved. Here's the part that most people miss. A business doing $80,000 a month in revenue, which is not a big business. That's a small local company. If you can show them a way to cut admin time in half, or close more leads, or stop losing customers to slow follow-ups, the value of that fix is not $3,000. It might be $30,000 a year in saved time alone. You charge them $3,000. They saved $30,000. That's a 10-to-1 return on investment, the kind of ROI that makes a business owner sign without blinking. Who wouldn't pay that? In 1 month, Marco had built a service business that out-earned his day job. Not a product, not a startup, a service business, the simplest, lowest overhead model there is, now. The interesting part isn't the ChatGPT. Anyone can learn that in a weekend. The interesting part is how he got in that room in the first place. And that comes later because it's actually the more important skill. Here's how power brokers actually think. And it's one question. Once you hear it, you can't unhear it. Not what am I worth, That's the employee question. That's the question that keeps you locked at $30 an hour or $50 an hour, because it starts from you, your skills, your experience, your time, and tries to calculate outward from there. The hunter question is different. It's, how much is this problem worth to the person who has it? That's it. That's the whole shift. Think about what that actually means. If a lawyer is billing at $500 an hour and you can save him 4 hours a week on admin work, that's $2,000 of his time every single week. Per year, that's over $100,000. How much should you charge him? Not $30 an hour. The correct number is as high as you can go while he still feels like he won. Maybe that's $1,500 a month. Maybe it's $5,000 for a one-time setup. Whatever it is, he's getting a 10-to-1 return, and you're making 10 times what you'd make charging for your time. This is what the wealthiest deal makers in the world actually do. They don't sell time. They find pain, they price the relief, and they make sure the buyer feels like they got the better end of the deal. Because that's how you get referrals. That's how you get repeat business. That's how you build something real. There's a name for this approach. It's called value-based pricing or outcome-based pricing, and it's the pricing strategy that's been standard practice in management consulting since McKinsey built their entire fee model around it in the 1950s. Robert Cialdini documented the psychology behind why it works in his book Influence. The core finding is simple. People don't buy based on cost. They buy based on perceived value relative to alternatives. The alternative to paying you $3,000 isn't free. It's the owner spending 40 hours trying to figure it out himself, or staying stuck and losing money every month he doesn't solve it. You are not competing with cheap. You are replacing expensive. Now here's where most people get this wrong, even after they understand the principle. And it's worth naming, because it's the thing that actually stops people from acting on any of this. Most people hear this and think, okay, but I could never charge that. Who am I to charge $3,000 for a few hours of work? That feeling is the NPC trap, and it is the only thing actually standing between you and the money. It's not a skill problem. It's not a market problem. It's a self-pricing problem, rooted in an employment mindset that was installed in you over years of being told your value is a number on a salary band. When you work a job, someone else sets your price. They look at the market rate for your role. They offer you something close to the bottom of that range, and you negotiate a little and settle somewhere in the middle. You learn over years what you are worth. Except what you actually learn is what an employer is willing to pay for your time in a system designed to pay you as little as possible while keeping you productive. Daniel Pink wrote about this in Drive. The research is pretty clear that once you're inside a salary structure, your brain starts anchoring your own value to that number. It's not laziness, it's psychology. The number gets internalized. That number has nothing to do with the value you can create. Nothing. Think about a plumber. A plumber charges $150 to come and fix a leak. The fix takes 40 minutes. That's not $150 for 40 minutes of work. That's $150 to not have water destroying your floor. The problem is priced, not the time. Nobody calls a plumber and says, "You only worked for 40 minutes. I'll pay you 30. You are the plumber. Stop charging for the minutes." The mental shift is this. Stop asking what you deserve. Start asking what the problem is worth to this specific person right now. Then work backwards from there to what you can deliver, and charge accordingly. I've used this thinking myself to break out of the 9 to 5. Not perfectly, not overnight. The first time I tried to pitch a service at a real price, I massively undercharged because I panicked at the last second. But once you see the gap between what you could charge and what you've been charging, you can't unsee it. And before we get to the best opportunity available right now to do exactly this, there are 2 more examples I want to give you, because this isn't an AI story. and I want you to see that clearly. A friend of mine noticed a small restaurant chain in his city was consistently losing customers after one visit. Not bad food, bad menu. Confusing layout, too many options, no anchor dish. He'd read a few books on menu psychology. William Poundstone's Priceless covers this specifically. And he knew exactly what was wrong. There's actually a whole field called menu engineering built around this. He didn't have a degree in it. He just read enough to understand the principles. He spent one afternoon with the owner, restructured the menu, moved the high-margin items, removed the analysis paralysis, charged $4,000. The owner's revenue went up 11% in the first month. That's not a consulting story. That's a value story. Another one. Someone I know had spent years in construction project management. Not a glamorous career, but a real skill set. An acquaintance was renovating a showroom. Total contractor bill came in at around $120,000. The business owner had no time to manage it, no experience dealing with contractors, and no idea who to trust. This guy stepped in, made the calls, managed the schedule, kept the contractors honest. Total personal time, maybe 12 hours spread across 6 weeks. He charged $5,000. The business owner didn't blink. He just saved himself 40 hours of headache on a 6-figure project. $5,000 was nothing. Same principle every time. Find the pain, price the relief, make sure they feel like they won. Here is the category where this gap is wider right now than almost anywhere else. Every business on the planet needs attention. Content, visibility, leads, social proof. Without it, you die slowly. Most business owners know this. Most of them are also terrible at it, hate doing it, and have no time for it. AI changed the production cost of content dramatically. A skilled person using the right tools, ChatGPT, Claude, Jasper, a basic Canva subscription, can produce a month of social content, a lead generation sequence, a full SEO article strategy in hours. Not days. Hours. The business owner doesn't know this. He's either paying a marketing agency $2,000 a month for mediocre results, and according to a 2023 Clutch survey, over 60% of small businesses said they were unhappy with their agency's output. Or he's posting nothing and hoping word of mouth carries him. Neither is working. You walk in, you offer a content and visibility package, you use AI to produce it, you charge $1,500 to $3,000 a month, and because you understand his business, his voice, and his customers, the output is actually better than what the agency was producing at double the price. This is what's sometimes called attention arbitrage. Gary Vaynerchuk has been saying for years that attention is the most underpriced asset in business, and he's right. The gap between the cost to produce attention and the value of that attention to the buyer is enormous right now, and it will close eventually, as these tools become commoditized and every business learns to use them. But right now, in 2025, most small business owners are still in the dark. Think about it from the business owner's side. The average customer acquisition cost, the CAC, for a small business running paid ads is anywhere from $50 to several $100s per new customer. If your content work brings in 20 new customers a month, you just delivered thousands of dollars in value. You charged $2,000. They got 10 times that back. Same math as Marco. Different category. The window is open. And here's the part that makes it even better. You don't have to do all the work yourself. You can use platforms like Fiverr or Upwork to outsource the parts you can't do, keep the margin, and manage the relationship. As long as the result gets delivered, the client doesn't care how it happened. They care that it happened. This is how deals actually get done at every level. The skill isn't execution, it's orchestration. So, back to the question this whole video started with. Why can't you build wealth on your current income? The real answer isn't that your income is too low. It's that you've been playing the wrong game. The NPC game, where you trade time for money at a rate someone else decided, optimize the spreadsheet, save the $300 a month, and wait 30 years for compound interest to do something. That game works. Slowly. For people with patience and time and no better options. But there's another game running alongside it. All the time. Everywhere around you. A game where value is priced not by hours, but by outcomes. Where the person with the problem pays whatever the solution is worth to them. Where your income in a single weekend can dwarf what the spreadsheet produces in a year. The people playing that game aren't smarter than you. They're not more qualified. They just asked a different question. Not, what am I worth? But, what is this problem worth? And who has it? The NPC sends a resume and waits for someone to decide his value. The hunter finds the pain and sets the price. Same skills. Same hours. Completely different life. Finding the right people, getting into the right rooms, that's a whole conversation on its own. But the mindset has to come first. Because without this shift, you could be handed every tactic in the world and still walk away charging $30 an hour. Start with the question. Everything else follows.